I needed to get sponsorship, and I did my first year in Europe in 2011, and basically sleeping on floors and crashing inside of a tiny little van for 5 months.
Hello and welcome to CallumConnects Micro-Podcast. Our guest today is Stefan Garlicki. Stefan is a professional athlete and a content creator who spent the last decade successfully building his personal brand in a niche sport.
So I came from a sport that was tiny, and I came from Cape Town, South Africa, so downhill mountain biking, and I decided that I wanted to make a career out of it, and to be honest, that was pretty unlikely, but I was determined to do everything in my power to make that happen. And so the first thing, obviously, besides, I had a few good results, but the way that was going to happen was I needed to get sponsorship, and I did my first year in Europe in 2011, and basically sleeping on floors and crashing inside of a tiny little van for 5 months, and with very limited budget, but managed to get a few good results. And then after that I was able to approach sponsors, and I really thought outside of the box. So I actually got sponsored by a bank for 5 years, Investec in South Africa, and that was a real game changer for me. Instead of looking inside the industry, I started looking outside, and that was a big turning point, because I realized obviously the market was so saturated, and so started approaching other companies, and one thing led to another, and now we're 15 years down the line, and I won a few national championships and was breaking into the top 20 in the world. Unfortunately, in 2018 and 19, I had 2 horrific injuries and broke both of my hips. And again, this was a huge low point for me, because at the same time, I'd lost most of my major sponsors, and was again like a rebuilding process, and I needed to really sort of pull myself out of it and take a step back and refocus, and then managed to get on board with my now main sponsor, OnlyFans, and so learning along the way, I've had to learn the ropes of building a brand, my brand, marketing myself, social media obviously all the travel logistics, whilst being a professional athlete and training and focusing on racing. I've learned all the ins of the bike industry and how that works. Had to juggle all these different areas. I've also run events as well. It's been a huge learning process for me, and I just jumped straight in the deep end. Now I've made a transition away from racing, content creation, and a podcast as well, focusing a lot on my YouTube channel, my Instagram, social media channel, working with brands, basically provide them marketing content, and integrate that in an organic way, hopefully get them more sales for their products, whether that be a bike component or signing up for an OnlyFans account, for example. And I've made this sort of transition through my career from trying to be a pro athlete and win races to now focused on longevity, creating content, being creative, and working with brands, furthering my career in that direction, and connecting with, that's also with the podcast. I want it for the best athletes in the world, and hopefully inspire generations to come, give them the tools they need by learning from these incredible individuals, next step in their life and reach their dreams and achieve success. So I don't know if I'm the typical entrepreneur, but being a pro athlete, a solo sport, especially a niche sport, is very much like running your own business.
If you enjoyed this podcast and would like to find more inspiring information about entrepreneurs around the world doing incredible things, make your way to enterprisezone.cc.